stablecoin and crypto. How are you feeling about getting in and using it as potentially a platform and option for your clients?
I mean, it's early, but I think it has a lot of promise, and particularly around stablecoin. And obviously, the Genius Act was just last week. But when you think about stablecoin, there's really a few things. There's the institutional piece, which will be the equivalent of like prime brokerage. That will be dominated by a single handful of international banks. The huge volume, relatively narrow margins. That's not really an opportunity or a challenge for us. The next is as a storer of value. And clearly, to the extent, Sarah, that our clients want it and they want to hold it in their wallets, we will accommodate that. And so we'll be sure to do that. Then there's the sort of discussion around, is it going to cannibalize deposits at banks? I actually think that's a fair, I think it's a threat, but I don't think it's an immediate threat. And I think the industry will respond. I mean, whether it's with tokenized deposits, which I think you'll see banks like Key do, and you may well see, I don't envision Key issuing a coin per se, but I could see us as part of a consortium of banks that issues a coin. And then I think the two best applications are really international payments. Right now, international payments are sort of this Byzantine approach of, all these correspondent banks. It takes a long time. There's a lot of friction. I think stable coins could be a really good solution for our clients. It could be faster, cheaper, better.
Hey, what's going on, bull runners? Welcome back to the channel. You're not going to believe what is shaking up the market today. Picture this: two heavyweights, XRP and Ethereum, battling it out for a whale-fueled rally, but one's quietly stealing the show. Meanwhile, BlackRock's Ethereum ETF just hit a jaw-dropping milestone, and Ripple's co-founder Chris Larsen made a massive $175 million XRP move that's got everyone whispering about the market dump. Sounds wild, right? Well, here's the thing. While these headlines are buzzing, there's a hidden pattern in the crypto world right now that could change how you invest. So if you're not paying attention, you might miss the next big opportunity, or worse, get caught in a market trap. Stick with me for the next few minutes. I'm going to break it all down for you in simple terms so you know exactly what's driving these moves and how to stay ahead. Plus, here's a little secret. Stick with me until the end. I'll give you an exclusive sneak peek into a secret crypto group that's uncovering game-changing insights that you won't find anywhere else. Plus, we will be heading over to X to find out all the breaking news that's happening in the crypto world today. We'll be heading over to Forex Factory to find out all the important red folder news that you need to know about this week. We'll deep dive into this Ethereum ETF and who's going to win this fight between XRP and Ethereum. Plus, we will be jumping into the XRP charts. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, the spider lines come in on point. We're going to cover the spider line supports along the way to the downside. We're also going to be looking at our long-term and short-term momentum wave. As you saw us draw out a couple of days ago, this is what was going to be happening. And sure enough, it is starting to happen as we see. And so much more in today's video. So if you're like most people where you don't have the opportunity to spend hours a day in the crypto news like we do for you here every single day on this channel, make sure you subscribe right now. And if you are still feeling bullish during this pullback, let me know by commenting 777 down below. First things first, let's head over to CoinMarketCap and check out the overall health of the crypto market today. As we can see right now, market cap coming in at $3.8 trillion total market cap. We are down 2.13%, unfortunately. So we did hit that $4 trillion mark for only 1 minute, essentially, and we have been pulling back ever since.
We just launched Altcoin Pro University, where our research team gives you real-time altcoin picks with explosive potential for this bull run, along with 100+ expert curated classes crafted by industry experts to discover these gems yourself, on top of our live weekly calls every single week for in-depth crypto market analysis and daily updates. And that's just a fraction of what we offer inside of Altcoin Pro University. Just go through the link in the description below. Get in right now.
Fear and Greed Index, though, still sitting with some momentum. We're at 66 in the greed green. We are not in the extreme greed. So is this pullback short, or is this the market breakdown? We're going to cover that when we get to the charts at the end. Unfortunately, altcoin season has died once again. So now we're at 37 out of 100. We were literally above the 50 line for a very smidgen of a time, but this market pullback has brought us back down. The political turmoil, the Federal Reserve issues, all really affecting the market's sentiment right now. Everyone's getting a little nervous. The uncertainty is hurting. And another reason altcoins are performing less is Bitcoin dominance is creeping back to the upside. It is up 61 again. We were recently just below 60. As Bitcoin's dominance goes down, altcoin season starts to kick off. Bitcoin ETF tracker, as you know, I like to follow this because it shows the volume coming into the markets. As you can see, it has been chop city, up, down for this week. It's quite unfortunate because last week we had $2.3 billion worth of inflows, and this week, unfortunately, we're having $125 million outflows as of today. Ethereum ETFs are performing a little bit better. As you can see, though, the volume has started to definitely drop off. We did have a day of zero, which was really strange, but then we rebounded with a $332 million inflow. But today, a very, very small day, $21 million in inflow, but it is continuing to be positive inflows into Ethereum. When we zoom out and take a look at the weekly charts, last week, the largest inflow ever, $2.16 billion. This week, though, we have $649 million for the inflows into Ethereum. So it is outperforming the Bitcoin ETFs this week. Top 6 cryptos by total market cap. Bitcoin number 1 at 115,900. Ethereum number 2 at 3606. XRP still holding the number 3 spot at $3.07. Tether at number 4. They did just mint another $1 billion worth of Tether, though. Tether at $1, obviously, at number 4. BNB at number 5, $758. And Solana at $178, wrapping up at number 6. All right, Thursday's reports did come out. Red folder news, unemployment claims, another positive number. This is absolutely insane. It is time to lower interest rates for sure. 227,000 was the forecast, and we came in at 217,000. Now, it's only 10,000 less unemployment claims, but it doesn't matter. It's very positive psychologically for our economy, for our market. The United States unemployment claims came in less. That means less people are filing for unemployment. Now, we also had flash manufacturing PMI come in. Now, this is an above 50, indicates industry expansion. Unfortunately, we came in at 49.5. We did have a forecast of 52.7, so that was not a beat or a win for this week. So manufacturing was down, but services was up. A forecast of 53 came in at 55.2. No news for Friday, but let's take a look at next week. Next week has a ton, very important, huge week. So right now we are having this pullback. Next week could be a massive explosion to the upside if we continue with positive news. JOLTS jobs openings will be coming out. Federal funds rate, we do have a forecast of 4.5. Will there be a sneaky surprise for us with a reduction in the interest rates? That would transform everything for the entire crypto and traditional financial markets. FOMC will be reported on Wednesday. Unemployment claims will come out again next week. Unemployment claims generally give really positive news for crypto, so hopefully we get some better rebounds next week. Non-farm employment will be coming out, and unemployment rate as well. So we'll keep you up to date. Make sure you subscribe today so you don't miss all of the financial news that you need to know. As you saw in the intro, another bank opens the crypto gate. Now, I've been showing you this multiple times over the past couple of weeks of another bank coming on board, another bank coming on board. There's even now more talks of a massive bank. Bank of America is about to be coming on board with crypto as well. But a $185 billion key bank now lets 3.5 million clients buy and hold Bitcoin and crypto. Traditional finance is onboarding fast. And as you heard at his last statement, what is the main problem with banking, international banking, money transfer, sending money overseas? Well, XRP solves that problem, XRP Army. So exciting news to hear. Banks are realizing crypto is the solution. Now, he does mention that it's going to be stable coins doing that. We have RLUSD, which does use XRP for burning in the fees. But just psychologically, the most important thing to understand, remember, there's a bunch of normies. Only 7% of the world's population has adopted crypto. Most people don't even know that this is happening, but banks are starting to get on board, which will then translate to more people having trust in the crypto financial markets. And if you remember, just a couple of days ago, we did announce that PNC Bank is partnering with Coinbase to bring customers to crypto. So it is happening, ladies and gentlemen. Goldman Sachs and Bank of New York Mellon, BNY Mellon, launched tokenized money market funds on blockchain, targeting $7.1 trillion industry with backing from BlackRock and Fidelity. Now, the only scary part here is obviously BlackRock is taking over everything. BlackRock's going to own every company in the stock market. It's going to own more of every crypto in the world. So BlackRock is going to run the entire world. That's the only thing to be scared of. And then on top of that, you got AI, BlackRock partnering never mind. I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole. But on some positive news, vertical tech farming firm Nature's Miracle launches a $20 million XRP treasury program, becoming one of the first public companies to adopt XRP as a core reserve strategy. So as you know, MicroStrategy is using Bitcoin. There's several gaming companies using Ethereum. Well, here we go. Now we have an American company using XRP as their treasury company. And also big news coming up next week. As you saw, the financial news is going to be on fire next week. Well, also Trump just announced that it will release its first ever crypto policy report on July 30th, a flagship move under his executive order 14178. And by the way, while you're over here on X.com, don't forget to follow us. We are giving away $100 worth of XRP every single week. Congratulations to RoseCut8 for winning our previous giveaway. In order to win, it's very simple. All you have to do is follow us, like, retweet, and comment this post right here that you see pinned on our X page, and then subscribe to our daily crypto newsletter by clicking the link. That will bring you to this page. You will also get a free book, our free ebook, Altcoin Secrets, the underground guidebook to becoming a crypto millionaire. Click the orange button, enter your best email, and click the orange button again, you're all set. Again, this is free to win, and if we take a look here, 67, 48, and 53, well, there's only 48 people that have done all of the things required, so your chances of winning are high, as you're only competing against 48 people. And if you've been following X.com at all, Chris Larson has been all over for the XRP army to see that he has been dumping tons and tons of his XRP. Since July 17th, a wallet linked to Chris Larson moved 50 million XRP or $175 million to exchanges. That was right as XRP hit a cost of $3.60. Now, blockchain sleuth Zach XBT flagged this, and the crypto community is buzzing with accusations of dumping, selling big to cash out at peak prices. XRP's price dipped to $3.09 after those transfers. Larson's wallets still hold over 2.8 billion XRP worth $8.4 billion. And why this matters is when a co-founder moves this much crypto, it spooks retail investors fearing a sell-off. But some argue that Larson's just decentralizing his holdings and preparing for strategic moves, like funding Ripple's expansion. The timing, though, raises eyebrows, especially with XRP ETF hype growing. If you're an XRP holder, keep an eye on exchange inflows and price action to gauge whether this is a blip or a bigger trend. Big moves definitely can shake confidence, but they also create buying opportunities if the dip's temporary. So what do you think Larson's up to? Let me know in the comment section below. And I thought this was really funny because of everything that's going on right now. Not Jerome Powell on X posted this picture here. If you guys didn't see this today, Donald Trump and Jerome Powell, they actually went on a tour of the Federal Reserve, and Jerome Powell said that the project wasn't that bad, or it was only $2.5 billion. And Trump said, no, it's $3.1 billion. Trump whips out this piece of paper out of his pocket, and then to show him what the cost of the actual project has been. But the meme here shows that what he was telling Jerome Powell is lower interest rates. And this is becoming a major topic. Jerome Powell has been actually referred to the DOJ for criminal investigation. Tim Burchett says that if the Federal Reserve is a private organization, why are taxpayers on the hook for this $3 billion renovation? So if you're not familiar, Federal Reserve building is getting renovated, and it's going to cost $3 billion, which is $1 billion over budget. Also bullish, Justin Sun and Tron rang the bell NASDAQ this morning. So again, crypto merging with traditional finance, crypto is coming to Wall Street. On top of the Chris Larson transfer, we also have a anonymous whale transferring 200 million XRP tokens, or $700 million transferred from an unknown wallet to another unknown wallet. Also breaking news for XRP, Brazil's top fund management firm Vert launches a blockchain platform on XRPL to manage private credit operations. The first live transaction is a CRA issuance valued at $130 million. So before we get into the actual XRP charts, let's take a look at this XRP versus Ethereum. Which token is quietly outperforming in whale-fueled rallies? Now, some of you guys may be saying, we're not in a rally right now. The price is dumping, blah, blah, blah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think going from $2.25 all the way up to $3.60 plus is a rally. We're having a small pullback. It is okay. XRP has been on fire, surging 30% in this past week, getting it up to $3.09. It's currently sitting at $3.09, just shy of its 2018 all-time high of $3.40. Ethereum, no slouch either. It's climbed 20% to $3,339. But here's the kicker. XRP's outpacing Ethereum in whale activity. Data shows that large investors have scooped up 2.2 billion XRP in the last 2 weeks, while Ethereum whale moves are strong but not quite as aggressive. And as I showed you from the ETF moves, Ethereum's ETFs have been massive. So this is great because we don't even have truly lots of different XRP spot ETFs approved yet, which we're going to get some massive volume from that. And the why this matters is whales often signal where the market's headed. XRP's rally is tied to optimism around the potential XRP ETF and regulatory clarity after Ripple's SEC lawsuit, which hasn't even freaking cleared yet. Ethereum, on the other hand, is riding the wave of its established ETF success and DeFi dominance. If XRP keeps this momentum up, it could flip Ethereum in market cap. But Ethereum's fundamentals are rock solid, and investors need to watch whale wallets and ETF news to pick up which horse to back. So which one's your bet? XRP speed and bank partnerships or Ethereum smart contract empire? Let me know down in the comments. But speaking of those ETFs, Ethereum does have a little secret, and that is BlackRock. BlackRock's ETF is becoming the third fastest ETF to hit $10 billion in assets under management since launching July of 2024. And obviously that's freaking huge. It's pulling in $602 million in a single week. And the reason this matters is this shows mainstream investors are pouring money into crypto, especially Ethereum. BlackRock's involvement gives Ethereum a stamp of legitimacy, driving more institutional cash and stabilizing prices. It also fuels speculation about altcoin ETFs like XRP, Solana, as Wall Street giants get hungrier for crypto exposure. And if you're holding Ethereum, this is a bullish signal, but it also means more eyes on the market, which could amplify volatility. If Ethereum ETFs are hot, imagine what's next. Could BlackRock dive into XRP? Well, if they do dive into XRP, you know what's going to happen. It's going to be to the moon for XRP. So let's take a look at XRP in the charts. As you guys know, some of you guys may not know, we have a chart here, and it is the spider line chart. We will be doing some traditional support and resistance charting here in just a couple of minutes as well. But the spider lines have been so ridiculously accurate. As we can see right here, our March 19th, 2018 spider lines from the weekly spider line with the pivot point of the April 21st spike. Use the ray tool and draw a line from there to that fulcrum point, and it shoots off a line into the future. Now, what's really crazy is when we recently had that all-time high of $3.40 back on January 13th, the week of January 13th, just before this massive pullback. Well, as we can see, that same spider line came into play for us and is unfortunately acting as a resistance. So it hit it once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6 times before its final drop down. Now, that massive drop on July 23rd was brutal to experience. We had already talked about it potentially coming back to this 324 line, but it actually kept diving to the 310 and even touching the $3 line. So when we pull up our short-term momentum indicator, as you can see right here, let me go ahead and turn off my drawings. We'll turn this off. We don't want to erase, and we're going to hide the drawings, okay? So we talked about this. Our short-term momentum wave, which we'll turn off the middle-term momentum wave, the short-term momentum wave have maxed out, and it had been riding maxed out for a significant period of time. And it did need a reset. Now it is painful to feel this current pullback. It's unfortunate because we were on such a great ride to the upside. But reality, our long-term momentum wave is still showing bullish momentum on the daily. Until this drops below the 0 line, we're still looking bullish. The other exciting thing is, since this massive ride on the daily charts, we have not had a bearish divergence occur on our daily charts. If we look at our weekly charts, we get a little bit worse news here because, as you see, last time we had this massive move to the upside. We had this pullback. We're starting to make this move to the upside on our Wolfpack indicator, which is based off of a stochastic. So we are getting ourselves a bearish divergence from here to up here, as you can see. So we see right here, momentum, which is this indicator, momentum is falling extremely short compared to where it was here. However, price is outperforming momentum. And when that happens, you can run into scenarios where you have extreme pullbacks. But the one thing I want to share with you here is our short-term momentum wave has not peaked on the weekly. So there is potential for more momentum to the upside before we get an actual fall to the downside. So now let's take a closer look on our daily chart. As we see here that we drew this a couple days ago, price comes down here, resets at 0, which could happen literally in the next 24 to 48 hours. What's really interesting is next week, we have that really potential for positive news in the financial news that we talked about. FOMC, federal funds rate, even if it remains the same, that's okay. That is not negative news. If they were to raise rates or something, that would be horrific. But if they lower rates, we have some crazy moonshot back to the upside. Also, when we take it our middle term momentum wave, it is starting to pull back. Now, this I don't like because this has a lot more weight to it than the short term momentum over time. But we are still bullish on the long-term momentum. So we're going to keep that in mind as we go through this. So support levels, what can we keep in mind here? Well, first and foremost, we have that $3 line. Again, we didn't have a body close on it, but we have a $3 body close potential here. Below that, we also have the $2.88 level. The interesting thing about the $2.88 level is our 30 exponential moving average is coming right there as well. So as we talk about a lot, once it breaks below the 10 exponential moving average, it could continue dropping to the 30. But what we really want to see is a quick flip right here. If it can do this reverse, right? So over the next couple of days, this comes down, it resets. And the same thing happens up here with price action, comes down here, consolidate for a couple of days rather than dumping. Then once it starts to make its move, breaks back above the 10 exponential moving average, we're looking crazy bullish again because as we can see last time when price came down, it was just chopping sideways. When it finally broke above the 10 exponential moving average, after the 10 had already crossed the 30 and the 50, which, as you know, it's already above the 30 and the 50. It's just extremely overheated right now. That's the only problem. We got a whole massive push to the upside, and it was quick. So it needs to come back, take a little breather. Whether it comes to the 30 and bounces off this $2.88, we'll check on that. Now, what I want to show you now on XRP is we're going to go to the fresh chart having nothing on it except for our supply and demand lines. There's no crazy lines shown there. So we're going to remove all that. We're going to chart it out by ourselves right now. So as we can see, price made this massive run up, had a little break right here. So this right here is a potential support level. Now, we definitely don't want to see this, but $2.75 is a support. Okay, then it made another massive run up, came back down. The last red candle before the run up is another level of support. So right here, support. Okay, so we're pretty darn close to that. That's a likelihood of coming there. That's a $2.92 level. If we go back to spider lines, our green spider line coincides with that same level, $2.88, $2.90. If we go back to here, we can see $2.92. So if price does come back down to that spider line, merge with the 30 exponential moving average, it's also a supply and demand zone on the daily charts. Now, on the 4-hour charts. We're charting the 4-hour charts here. Now, what's going to be interesting, now that we have these levels built out, we got up to these highs, and then the last green candle before the drop is where we're going to run into some pretty extreme resistance on the way back up. So if we're looking for prices on the way up, we're looking at $3.51. So those are supply and demand zones right now. This is not looking great. I mean, that is a pretty massive green candle to the downside, taking its momentum down there. So let's go ahead and take a look at the 1100 exponential moving average. All right, so if you're new here, this is a really interesting thing that we found works as a great support level and resistance level, depending on what direction. Now, we're way overheated. So right now, this is going to be working as a support level. Now down here, this is our 1100 exponential moving average on the 4-hour charts. And this comes in at $2.29. Personally, I don't see it coming down to those levels. However, if you go over to David Schwartz's account, he's always posting crazy cryptic messages and they almost always align with price for XRP. And surprisingly enough, today, David Schwartz posted out from 1998 to 2010, I worked for a software company, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter what it is, but he posts numbers in his posts. So what does this, in my sleuthing, how have I cracked the code on what he does? Well, he points these out because they become price targets. So $1.99, $2.01. So are we in for some crazy, scary scenario in the financial markets where everything crashes to extreme level lows? And if you're watching the political turmoil that's going on right now, there's a lot of narratives that could cite a black swan event where we have some crazy thing fall. But this is on the 4 hour. So personally, I think it's too far away. But David Schwartz posts random crazy stuff. Let's go to the 1 hour. As you can see, our 1 hour comes and coincides right here with one of our supply and demand boxes that we just boxed off between 274 and 268. And now, why do I talk about these levels? Well, I think, okay, if I'm going to add to my position as an now it's not financial advice. Do not buy or sell anything we talk about on the channel. But if I'm looking for the craziest, amazing entry, I would be following the 1100 exponential moving average on the hourly chart. See if it comes to this level. Wait for some positive momentum, signs and signals showing that we're going to shift back to the upside. But are we ever going to get down to the 1 hour level? I don't know. But let's take a look at the 30-minute now. Well, as we can see, the 30-minute is coming in pretty hot. We got 30-minute, it almost touched it here, and it's showing bearish momentum right now. But 30 minutes, it's going to get us to $2.95. Still a little far away. Let's look at the 20-minute. Well, we've lost the 20-minute. Let's look at the 15-minute. We've lost the 15-minute. Let's look at the 10-minute. It's below the 10. Let's look at the 5. It's below the 5. Let's look at the 1. It's below the 1. So it's pretty freaking bearish right now, unfortunately. So we need to wait for some bullish momentum. Does price get all the way back here to $2.92? And that also comes right in line with the 30-minute 1100 XRP moving average. So keep an eye on that. Now, you may be thinking, that is absolutely nuts. There's no way that that could be a potential thing. Well, let's go test it on Bitcoin. All right, so here's Bitcoin in the charts. It was doing this crazy choppy sideways for the last 30 minutes. And then all of a sudden, it's not really all of a sudden. I mean, it's taking hours to do because this comes in from 12:30 last night Pacific time. But look where price is right now. Holy to the moly, right? Is it going to literally bounce off of the 30-minute 1100 exponential moving average? Let's take a look at the 15-minute. What happened? It bounced here, it bounced here, it bounced here, and it bounced here. It had a wick below it, but the body candles. But look at once it broke with a candle body closed below it, it even just plowed. One candle tapped the 20-minute, but it plowed through there, and it's getting close to that 30 minutes. So play around with this one. Let me know down in the comment section. What do you think about the 1100 exponential moving average? Have you tested it? I know some of you guys out there are professional day traders doing phenomenally well. Let me know how you've used it. All right, now let's also take a look at Ethereum, because Ethereum and XRP, the main themes of today's video, it's nowhere near the 30-minute exponential moving average. 15-minute, not there. 10-minute, it's bouncing off the 10-minute right now. So we'll see. Can we hopefully have a rebound from these levels? Bitcoin bouncing at the 30-minute. Ethereum bouncing at the 10-minute. XRP not having to reach its 30-minute. But this Bitcoin is absolutely dropping off of a cliff right now. For everyone's sake, let's hope it bounces here. Oh, and for fun, let's check on SUI, right? SUI, 30-minute, just the same as Bitcoin. It bounced off of it, and right now it's potentially going to hit it a second time. Let's look at Solana. Solana is pretty far away from the 30-minute. Solana, that would have to come all the way to 171, so $5 away. Let's look at the 15-minute, broke below it, 20-minute. It's sitting at the 20-minute right now. Kind of looks like it broke below there, though, so it might be heading to that 30-minute. So watch for Solana. Does it rebound at 171? One other crazy thing that I've noticed is pairs that are generally tracking together as far as price goes, they all bounce at the same level. So if it's bouncing at the 15-minute, all the other coins bounce at the 15-minute. If it bounces at that's XRP, Solana, all of them. It's absolutely crazy. But I would love to break the code on this with you guys. So let me know what you find.
Hey, bull runners, check this out. If you want to learn how to find the next 10x, 50x, or even 100x altcoin in this video, listen to this. Our research team posted GOAT on the 13th of October of 2024 when it was right at a penny, and since then it rallied to over $1 and is currently still up over 5,000%. That's like turning $1,000 into over $50,000. Our team called Pendle at only a $16 million market cap, or 16 cents, back on February 18th of 2023, all the way back here, and since then it's rallied up over 4,000%. That's a 40x. It's like turning $1,000 into over $40,000. Our team also called BitTensor Tau September 15th, 2022, before the token was ever even launched. And since then, Tau has rallied over 2,000%. That's a 20x. Our team even said Solana is most likely to be one of the easiest trades next year, and this was posted December 29th, 2022, on the day that Solana bottomed out at around $8. And since then, Solana looks like it's up over 2,500%. That's a 25x. It's like turning $1,000 into over $25,000. And the bull run is just getting started. The list goes on and on and on. Our team called Sui, Ondo, and even some of the biggest cult-based meme coins like MOG back in July 20th of 2023, the day that MOG launched. So if you want to learn how our team is finding these altcoins before they explode, we just launched Altcoin Pro University, where our research team gives you real-time altcoin picks with explosive potential for this bull run, along with 100+ expert curated classes crafted by industry experts to discover these gems yourself, on top of our live weekly calls every single week for in-depth crypto market analysis and daily updates. And that's just a fraction of what we offer inside of Altcoin Pro University. Just go through the link in the description below, get in right now, watch the 26-minute video covering everything that Altcoin Pro University offers,